are the Nairobi Tech Girls, creators of the Corruption Disruptor. My earliest memory of corruption is from when I was 5 years old. I remember riding in our car when my dad got pulled over by a police officer with a large gun. The police officer told my mom to squeeze in the back seat with my two siblings in it. He then sat beside my dad and demanded that he pay a bribe for some unknown traffic offense. My little brother, who was about 2, started to cry, not knowing what this strange man wanted. I have never forgotten this experience and how helpless it made me feel. 1 trillion Kenyan shillings are lost due to corruption every single year. What troubles us the most is that the poorest people are affected the most by corruption. Corruption causes inefficiency, slows down economic growth, reduces tax revenue, affects business operations, and much more. Many people do not know how to correctly respond when they're in a situation where they witness corruption or when they're asked to pay a bribe.
Have you ever been asked for a bribe? Has your license application process been frustrated or delayed for lack of a kickback? This app will help Kenyan citizens find their voice in the fight against government corruption by providing a reporting platform. Using Thunkable code, we created the Corruption Disruptor. You can easily report the details of your corruption incident, stating the department name, official involved, and location. Using a Firebase API to store and retrieve data, the app is able to generate reports from the user's complaints. A geomap will then highlight all the locations with reported incidents of corruption. Based on these reports, the app will encourage government departments to improve their competence. We have included an education page that's full of helpful links, information on corruption, and several quizzes to create awareness. We know education plays a major role in the fight against corruption. If one doesn't know their rights, it will be less likely for them to stand up for themselves.
In creating this app, we have learned a great deal about how to start a business, how to develop an app, and what it means to work as a team. Our team consists of 5 homeschooled young ladies. Emmy likes to play on words and enjoys trying new things. Kenya enjoys playing guitar and Minecraft. Bianca is a grade 6 saxophone player who loves to read. Aaliyah, our oldest team member, is creative. She likes writing books and plays. And myself, Jazzy. I love baking delicious treats for my family and reading Geronimo Stilton books.
Our plans to grow the business in the next 5 years include raising awareness through social media platforms, including our existing Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts, as well as use of multimedia advertising to target potential users in partnership with corporates and anti-corruption agencies. We will progressively expand nationally. Corruption players offering limited services. Our app stands out because it is easy to use, has an education page with helpful links and quizzes, a geomap, an anonymous report function, and future features such as data analytics that may prove useful to anti-corruption agencies.
Since submitting in May, we've continued to work as a team to further develop our app. We've been able to complete the quiz feature, which was previously a future feature. Last week, we submitted our app to the Google Play Store. We plan to continue to work to add valuable features such as a camera function, which will allow users to take photos and videos of corruption incidents, and powerful analytic tools. These tools can be used to analyze the data that we collect to make predictions about when and where corruption will take place. We can find correlations for increases and decreases in corruption. We plan to release the iOS version in the first quarter of 2021. We, the Nairobi Tech Girls, have a great desire to rid Kenya of corruption. Corruption has a negative impact on us all. With the features of our app, we can eradicate corruption in a simple, smart, dependable fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ultimate solution. This is the app you can't afford to ignore. Literally. Thank you.
This was amazing. This just blew me away. Great presentation, great team. My question, so I didn't get to see as much of, can you tell me a little bit more about the app and, how, especially how are you going to incentivize users to use it? People are afraid to report anything. And so how do you anonymize, or what were you thinking about that, your community better?
Education is the first step before you report corruption. And I think Kina can tell you a bit more about how we will get users specifically, why it matters to a person specifically.
So we know that many people feel it's easier to participate in corruption just because people participate in corruption doesn't mean it's right. So people must consider being a part of the solution instead of the problem.
Hi, great presentation, great important issue that you're tackling here. Can you tell me, have you looked at partnerships or how you'll work with sort of local authorities in terms of like what happens after it's reported, and a bit about how that will work, that process?
Yes, we are currently in talks with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, which is a pretty big anti-corruption agency in Kenya, Nairobi.
Your presentation is like so perfect, and your whole initiative, it's amazing, and it's so serious, so big, which is just amazing and impressive. So this will force us to ask you questions that it's quite, I think, just serious and difficult. So I will just go back to Diana's question about coordination with the government. This whole report of corruption, it's all about partnership with the government. So my question is almost the same, but it's also regarding the planning of, having such an amazing app and such like a serious app. Did you start coordinating with the government from the beginning, just to make sure that this is, in compliance with their rules and with their policies, and also to get some support of them, because they are your main partners in this, right?
So we incorporated user feedback on working against government corruption instead of both private sector corruption and government corruption. So we weren't really planning on working with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in the beginning until somewhere in the middle of designing our app. So basically we'll give them our data to sort of see what they can do with the data and see what initiative they can take against these corrupt departments.
We are the pioneers of the AI team. We are from
Palestine.
And we are going to share our intelligent solution idea, which is called
Talk and Trust.
Look at this picture. As they represent real pictures in our community, the right picture represents the problem of my friend Mustafa in the class, where I noticed that his peers do not participate in the conversation and classroom activities because of the difficulty of his speech.
The left picture is to my son. He is secluded with no one understands him. This picture represents one
Of static are 250,000 school-age children, as stated by the National Institute on Defense and Other Communication Disorders. 5% of the U.S. children aged 3 to 17 have speech disorder.
5 million people with speech disorders in the world.
Children with speech disorders suffer from negative social effects such as becoming a target bullying, which will result to decreased self-esteem.
As to help children with speech disorder worldwide, we invent an app called Talk and Trust. It's an assistive technology for people with speech disorders. A microphone gathers sound data, and the tool is programmed to find patterns in how people with speech disabilities may say English and Arabic words and help them communicate with others. Here we can see a screenshot of labels that are created on the machine learning website. If we get found, we will look for a cloud to make labels for all words in Arabic and English dictionaries. On the other side, we can see scratch block of our tested application. It supports sound analysis, convert audio to text, supporting multiple languages, and helps to communicate in real time.
Talk and Trust is looking for both the Arabic-speaking countries and the English-speaking countries in order to assist the children at school diagnosed and struggling with speech disorders. In phase 1, our target is Palestine, and there are 250,000 as started in Palestine of statics. As Palestine has launched as market, we can gain 1.25 million if we sell the application $5 app download. If we cover Palestinian market, we will move to the second phase, which is the MENA region and then the USA. To reach our goal, we are thinking to
potential strategies, online and offline ones. The online, we can make promoted video and paid ads on some social media platforms, and we can gain offline as we can make partnership with specialists.
At the moment, we are at Technovation competition, and inshallah, we will make further research and development and fundraising and support, and we will serve to deliver talk and trust value to children with speech disorder worldwide. Thank you. I'm Ruwaida Asia, technical support.
Samir Badr, logistics support.
Mariam Sulaiman, marketing. Yusuf Mohammed, marketing. Al-Harith Badr, marketing. And Qasim,
Congratulations. I loved seeing the team camaraderie that we could feel in the room. I also liked understanding who had what role, so you understand the role of developing a business. I also thought it was very. I agree with you. The more that we can help others communicate their ideas in this world, our world is going to become a better place, and that is what we all aspire to, no matter what country we sit in. So thank you so much for looking to really address a problem that will make our world a better place today and for future generations. That takes real leadership, and so thank you. I liked that you compared your app to some of the other types of apps that are out there right now, such as voice to text. We happen to use those types of apps in our own home as well. So thank you very much. Congratulations. I'm really glad to hear this, and I wish you all the very best as you continue to take forth this idea and other ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. All of you are tackling very large problems on a global basis. Very large potential TAM out there, and I think it's good to be placing importance on these issues that are scalable. What I appreciated from the presentation was that it's something that a lot of large businesses are in hopes of achieving one day. I think you see large businesses like Google doing the traditional translation for their applications, and what we see here today is something that entirely leapfrogs what they're doing. And I think it's a very, very interesting space to be in that would allow you to collaborate with some of these larger players out there. So it's the right place to be. And in addition to some of Susan's comments, appreciate the division in roles and responsibilities, but I also liked how there was some thought put into pricing, and I think that leads into looking at the financials and business model. Continue looking into that. I think it's very, very useful for all three groups to research the feasibility of the potential revenues that you're able to generate and the cost to be able to achieve your goals. Wonderful work.
One of the ideas that I could give you is to share this technology with autism people who suffer from autism, which is a growing number in this current society right now. I see that it will be a great feat of technology, and that's actually a great need for that. So I'm really impressed with this technology and how it actually could help solve quite some issues in this world. I feel that what's important to go to market is also to look at the sustainability factor, which is the revenue model, and you actually touch on that. Another thing that I think it's also quite important is actually to measure the impact of it. So after you roll out, keep track possible feedbacks of the users and how many people are they actually have you actually helped, and share the reviews so that we could actually galvanize more people to use the technology that all three participants actually have come up with.
Salam. Kuwait Birds Tracker, KBT, done by Al Muhammad Ali family, kids, Fatma, Abdul Hamid, Abdullah,
parents, Sabah and Ayad. Our family is keen on doing something to contribute towards a clean, healthy environment. KBT stages had 3 stages. First, we define the problem and help to solve it. Then we use what we learn from AI family sessions. Then we create invention, test it, then
use it. We created a questionnaire and had 178 participants from Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. We found that the problem in our community is people's lack of awareness and understanding of how to preserve the environment, even though most desire a clean and healthy environment. We focused on biodiversity because Earth is home to a large number of species, including us. We are all different but closely related. Why birds? Our community loves birds, even in our region, the Middle East, which will encourage people to use our KBT app. Okay. Myself and Hamid collected examples of photos of these birds from Kuwait Bird website, which is funded by Kuwait Foreign Petroleum Exploration Company, and other websites from Google Search Image. We use machine learning model to recognize 100 images of 13 birds endangered.
How we did it, we use MIT AI2 tools, create mobile application that gives the user information about certain bird if it's endangered, tips on how to protect them, and ultimately save the environment. I will show you the video how it's worked. Here is the app. First, you have 2 buttons. One is take picture and then you reset. And under is the most important tips. It's how you protect your environment. Now, I take a picture. I use the book of Kuwait bird, looking at different birds. I picture the image here, took the image. Now, it's called the machine learning tools. It recognizes the image and then display the image. Under it, information about bird endangered and how to protect it. Now, overview of KBT invention.
The main idea of this project is to create awareness of Kuwait's outstanding biodiversity and the need to protect it. We used ML model to recognize the image and MIT AI2 to create a mobile application for phone or tablet.
Test the application for user by different ages group, kids and adults. In the future, we will add sound recognition for birds, and also it will define their location.
Also add more animal species for Kuwait desert neighboring countries and include global species. The end.
So how did you guys go and collect the information on the birds? How did you do your research on why did you pick birds?
We used a website called Kuwait Birds, and we also searched from Google Search Images.
I have a question too. I was interested in how you all plan to have users start adopting this app and actually start using it to better improve and support biodiversity. Have you thought about how you might try to get the word out to have to help with adoption?
Yes, actually there is a company in Kuwait, it's care about the environment. And we will introduce this app. Maybe they will adapt it because, it's people here in Kuwait love birds so much. So it's recognize birds and it's endangered and keep awareness for people.
Amazing. I do have a small question. Are you planning to focus only in birds, or in the long term, you're planning to focus in other species?
Yeah, we will expand like other animal species.
What other species are you interested in reaching out, in doing a research about?
We're trying to research about birds because other birds were the desert birds because we live in the desert and we like animals.
Other species, there is a fish. It's very rare and only in Kuwait. And some chemistry, I think, professor in the Kuwait University, he reached that there is a liquid in this fish. It will cure from diabetes and this. So we will also recognize this fish because the fishermen will not catch it. If they find it, they will throw it again in the sea.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
I have a very quick question for you too. What an amazing idea, all of you. I'm really proud of what you guys have done. It looks incredible. So cool. So I just wanted to know, when you first started, how did things change or evolve as you started this project? And did it start in one place and end in a different place?
Yes, one idea led to another. So first we were thinking about something to do with animals. And then when we got to our birds, we changed it to birds. And we saw some TV shows that most birds are endangered, so we moved to endangered birds in the desert.
Really?
So I did
Very cool. I'm sure you're all very proud of yourselves, and you are very right to be. Very good job.
Hello, I'm Sasha, and I'm Team 1. I'm here to present 1,000 apps. The internet has dramatically changed the way we live today. Much of our communication, entertainment, and shopping are online. Recently, work has shifted online. The pandemic has also accelerated distance learning and telehealth, making our lives even more reliant on technology. Today, the average person has over 60 apps on their smartphone. With so much information online, data security has become an urgent issue. Cyber attacks now happen daily, resulting in personal data breaches. In the US, around 16 billion records and 8.4 billion users were affected in the first quarter of 2020 alone. This is a 273% increase from the first half of 2019. One of the dire consequences of a data breach is identity theft. 33% of US adults have experienced identity theft. This is more than twice the global average. In addition to financial loss, identity theft carries a serious emotional and psychological toll. 75% of victims of identity theft feel severely distressed. Sadness or depression afflict 59%. The consequences of a data breach may be minimized if immediate action is taken. However, 4 out of 5 victims of a breach do not realize they've been affected for at least a week, and 56% do not even know what to do if they were affected. After gaining insight into this problem, I decided to develop an app that would keep my community abreast of personal data security. By creating 1,000 apps, I embark on a mission of holding companies to high standards of personal data security and helping my users make informed decisions about their apps. My app will provide the user with a holistic, up-to-date ratings of their app in green, yellow, and red based on the following 3 features. First, the app's record of data breaches. Second, the type of personal data required to sign up and the level of risk associated with each data type. And third, key elements of the app's privacy policy, such as sharing of data with third parties. Through research, I learned that data breaches affect users of all ages. Over 1 million children were victims of identity theft in 2017. Senior citizens are one of the most vulnerable groups of internet users. With this in mind, I designed 1,000 apps to be accessible to users of all ages. I will reach my target users by word of mouth, social media, in schools, and community organizations. Based on the overwhelmingly positive response I received from members of my community survey, I'm confident that 1,000 apps will be a success. My indirect market competition today falls into 2 groups. First, apps that alert users of data breaches and detect exposure of sensitive data, such as Dashlane and CyberScore. And second, apps that monitor users' credit report, account changes, and abnormal app activity, such as LifeLock, Identity Guard, and LogDog. Unlike my app, these apps require access to personal data in order to monitor threats to individual users. Instead of monitoring user data, my app will evaluate existing apps in terms of the risk they may pose to your personal data security. I believe there is no direct competition for my app on the market. In the future, my app will notify users of data breaches and, following a breach, prompt users to take steps necessary to mitigate potential damage. For apps with low data security ratings, I will provide recommendations of apps with similar features but with higher ratings. Text analytics to extract key elements of an app's terms privacy policy. I will add interactive features to solicit users' feedback and collaborative features to allow users to log data breaches and security concerns. I plan to translate and localize my app for use in other countries and languages. I believe that through this dynamic, collaborative approach to data security monitoring, my users and I can ensure that companies uphold high standards of personal data security. Thank you.
Amazing pitch. Thank you so much. It's a growing problem. We all face it every day. And I love that you said that it's a very vast age group that it impacts. My question is around, so you said like you'll be notifying, I'm just trying to figure out like how you're thinking about how you're going to make money off of this. And because you need money to sustain this business.
Yeah, so I did not think about profit yet. However, I will be thinking about that once I publish my app to the market. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Really great to see you tackling this issue, which is, of course, only increasing in importance, as you mentioned, as we use more and more apps in our personal and working lives. I'd like to understand a bit more about how you're doing the evaluation of all the apps and how you'll sort of keep track of all the new ones that are coming out, as well as sort of evaluate the security of so many apps that are out there.
Yeah, so my app's personal ratings will be based off an algorithm that combines 3 features. So first, it's the data breaches, the record of data breaches, the use of sensitive data when signing up, and privacy policy features. And of course, within these 3 categories, there's even more because there's how many users were affected in data breaches, what type of information is stolen. So we're currently still working on the algorithm. However, for now, the colors are green, best rating, yellow, and red, worst rating.
So are you, thinking about how you can keep your evaluation efficient and protected from, these big applications that are basically very rich and strong companies?
I'm still working on the algorithm, and it takes a lot of research and thinking because it's very complicated. But the idea is that users will be able to go on the app, and if they were to download an application, they could look it up and see the rating.